Do you want to know why this movie title is called Disappointing Movies of 2022 and not the worst, even though that is the standard? Stick around to find out more. Hi, how you doing today? It's just Jess here. Hope you're having a good day. And today, yes guys, today, unfortunately, we are talking about the disappointing movies of 2022. Now, I want to be very honest with you guys. The reason why this title is not the worst movies of 2022, but rather disappointing movies is, to be honest with you, every single time I go to the theaters. I love the theaters. I gave up school for it. I gave up a lot of things for movie theaters, for YouTube. I am grateful to go to the theaters. I love going to the theaters. It is my life, my past, future, and present. It's been there for me ever since like I got heartbroken, all the sad times, good times, bad times. So to me, any day, usually it's the weekends or Thursdays, when I go to the theaters, I look good, I feel good, I smell good, I shave, I put on some nice good clothes, I get some drinks with some friends, you know, I text some people. So it is always an experience for me. Just because a movie is on its list, do not let it deteriorate you if you really liked it. That's why it's called disappointing and not the worst, because those big YouTubers, and yes, those big YouTubers are going to use languages such as the worst. But to me, any movie that I go see in the theaters, I still had a good time. I still came out of it happy that I even got to go to the theaters, because we still have theaters to go to, and this is my life, this is my livelihood, this is my career. That's why I'm gonna be honest with you, it's just not the potential that the movie could have been. And yeah, some of these movies are in IMAX, some of these movies are in IMAX 3D or normal, so don't let, just because the movie's on here, don't let it like discourage you. And let me know what you think, because I would love to know your list. But I just couldn't connect with some of these movies to the extent I thought I was going to, or I thought I was going to have. Nevertheless, even though I still saw this movie, I had a good time going, because I'm happy, because in COVID I cried because theaters were closed in the Chicago, Illinois area. So with that out of the way, guys, here are the most disappointing movies of 2022. Rules, we got to talk about the rules. So movies had to be played in theaters. This is very crucial into why I love movies and theaters. So this has to be a rule. So like movies had to be played in theaters. Second, released this calendar year. So it has to be released between January 1st and December 31st. So any movies that's in theaters throughout this whole year time frame, not like some awards that have the cutoff day or like the Game Awards. Like, no, we don't do that here. We actually wait until the very end. Any movie, as long as it was in theaters, even stuff like HBO Max, like if they date and date decision, or like Netflix's, like for example, if they had a like release window like 1 week, or an anime film. So it doesn't matter, it had to be released in theaters this year, and anything could be counted for. Spoilers, guys, spoilers. There is reasons why I need to talk about spoilers for certain movies, because of the reasons why it ended up on this list. So spoilers, beware, and if you don't care, then please stay on. But if you do care, maybe come back after you've seen most of the movies that, I mean, you probably don't know what's gonna be on this list, but just spoiler warning ahead, because I can't really talk about it. So in 3, 2, 1. So number 10, first we got Thor Love and Thunder, and we went to go see this in IMAX 3D. Now, the reason why I'm putting Thor Love and Thunder on here is because they had two converging storylines, but I felt like it didn't have enough breathing room to breathe. The movie was like 2 hours, exactly 2 hours, and you have Geralt, the God Butcher, as well as Natalie Portman returning because she was absent in Ragnarok. So it was like two storylines combining, try to be fast into the 2 hour mark. Like maybe if it had a little bit more breathing room, it would have been nice. But this is a movie that's over the top, silly. However, it is downright fun, but a lot of people are like, this is way too silly for me. Fast, not enough breathing room for the two storylines for it to breathe. I know that sounds a little weird, but it's just like you have two things going on, and like maybe it could have been better if it was 2 hours and 20 minutes. Like maybe a little bit more time with these characters, especially Natalie Portman. We haven't seen her for Ragnarok, and now, oh, she has cancer in like the first 10 minutes of the film. And the ending I could not get with it, because honestly, Thor has his own child. Now, I did find out that it's actually his own real daughter, that he adopts this child like in the movie. But I'm just like, dude, like I'm not a father. I don't ever plan on being a father. I don't have kids, and the idea of me having kids, it's just, I'm sorry, like I can never have kids. You really think a guy like me can have kids? Like, no, I just can't do it. So I'm sorry. Thor Love and Thunder here, IMAX 3D is on here. So now we got number 9. Number 9 is honestly Fantastic Beasts and the Secrets of Dumbledore, and we went to go see this in IMAX. Unfortunately, I love Harry Potter. I have the 4K Blu-ray HD set on my cabinet that I bought. I love Harry Potter, and I did a collab with this with Fernando, but I feel like me and him literally came to the agreement that it's just not that good as the other two previous installments. And guess what? They don't even know if they're gonna make Fantastic 4 or 5 because of this. One thing is the absence of Catherine Waterstone, Newt's love interest in. She only comes in the last 5 minutes of the movie after the big battle. It's like, why? Maybe because she did some Twitter things that she said J.K. Rowling, like she says bad stuff. I'm like, bro, like what? That's what I'm saying. Like you have his love interest all the way till the end, and that what I loved the first two movies movies because of the love interest. But I don't know, the love series, I love the series, but I feel like it was a weak battle between Dumbledore and the other guy. I forgot his name. Whatever, the other evil sorcerer. And I'm like, dude, other than that, the movie was pretty good, but it was like a weak battle. They only fight for like 2 minutes in the wizarding duels. I mean, yeah, it was cool, but I feel like the Catherine Waterstone, that absence really just tasted a sour mouth. Like, I'm like, bro, what are you doing right now? Like, you missed out on one of the great opportunities to bring her back, and now you only put her back in the 5 minutes. It's like you punished her because of what she said in real life, which, come on, let's be honest, who cares? You know, like, yeah, I care, but it's like, it doesn't matter. They brought up weird politics, it's whatever. Number eight, we got Uncharted. Yes, Uncharted in IMAX. We actually went to go see this in IMAX. Guys, this is a fun movie. I love the video games. I played all the games, even like the spin-off with Chloe Fraser. But to be honest with you, Uncharted suffers from, and a lot of people like this, but the reason why I don't is because they literally took the plane scene from Uncharted 3, the video game. Uncharted, they put it in the first movie in the less than 10 minutes. So basically they took a big, humongous stuff from Uncharted this, Uncharted 2, Uncharted 4, Uncharted 3, and they put it in one movie. And yeah, it looks cool, but it's like, bro, like, that's not, I mean, I guess you took faith from the source material, but you literally took the big events from different games and put them in the first movie. Think about it. The plane scene wasn't even until Uncharted 3, and they put it in the first movie. And guess what? The lack of Elena Fisher. Now, if you don't know who Elena Fisher is, search her up with Drake. They have one of the best romance stories ever. In the video games, they actually have a daughter towards the end. But guess what? Elena was there in the first video game. She was there in literally less than 5 minutes of the opening scene when they're on the boat. And guess what? She's not in this movie. There is no hints of her. There's no, I just couldn't find it. Like, maybe I thought that was a girl in the beginning, but no. In the credits, it just says young lady. And I get it. Chloe Fraser is beautiful. She's in here. She's that Indian, Pakistani, Afghanistan girl with the tan skin, which she is gorgeous. But Elena Fisher is important to Drake's life, especially in the first game. Now, she's not even in the first movie. It's like, hopefully they do a second part movie because Elena Fisher's not here. It's like, they're not even consistent, and I get it. A lot of gamers are going to be like, yo, this is cool. But to me, as a movie guy, we're getting things like, we're getting the dessert before the entree or the appetizer. It's like, no. And then the mustache, Sully's mustache doesn't even come until like a mid-credit scene. And it's like, bruh, I get it. And in Uncharted 3 and 4, you see glimpses of the younger Drake. But like, dude, how can you not put Elena in here? Like, dude, that's kind of bogus. Like, she is important in the video games, and she has a lot of character dynamic with Nathan Drake in the video games. And the fact that they don't put her here, that it's like, why? Okay, so number seven, we got 355, and we went to go see this normal. And honestly, guys, 355, I remember that was the first video this year that literally came out in like a big major wide release. And I can't believe the first one that came out this year is, I think, on this list. But you have 5 beautiful actresses in the mini Marvel team up. The direction and the story is like generic. Yeah, it could have been more oomph to it, but I did not feel like it was like the grand that it deserved. Like, you have 5 beautiful actresses like Penelope Cruz, and you just can't do anything with them. It's like, what? Like, this was supposed to be a good, like, I don't know, like, I love females, of course, you know me, I love females, but this movie just felt like, you just basically threw 5 females, oh, let's see if this works, and stick it to a wall. Like, yeah, it's great. I mean, they all have to team up from different organizations to like attack. And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I can't even remember because it wasn't that good. I'm not talking about the acting, I'm talking about the storyline. Like, they wasted these 5 beautiful actresses. That's what I'm thinking. I'm like, dude, like, it could have been better. So number six, we got Lightyear in IMAX. Now, Lightyear in IMAX, if you have families, great. This is a great movie for families. Look at me. I am not a family. I'm a kid, but I don't like this type of kid. Now, to be honest, I thought Lightyear was a weak story. I just couldn't, after the first 15 minutes, when they do like some scientific stuff, I thought that was great. But then after that, I was just bored. It was the lack of Toy Stories. Like, this is a sequel, well, not a sequel, but like, this has Buzz Lightyear, probably the most iconic Toy Story figure. The supporting cast was just not developed as Buzz. I mean, yeah, Chris Evans is great, but it just felt weird. I mean, if you had kids, this would be awesome, but I don't know. I do think about the kids, and I'm just like, a Lightyear to me, I don't know. I don't care for this movie. Like, I love Toy Story, but for this movie, for Lightyear, I don't know. Like, I just couldn't connect with it. 5th place, 5, we got Firestarter, normal. Now, the book is obviously way better than the movie, but this is that movie with Zac Efron, you know, Firestarter, like, and honestly, the only good thing about this is Zac Efron, and I feel like they used him to sell the movie, and like, he plays a father to this little girl. It just felt like a throwaway, like, book adaptation. I mean, some of the cool thoughts are cool, but I just feel like it wasn't really executed. This is kind of like a forgettable story. Like, it just didn't have any meaning, at least to me. I was just like, Zac Efron is cool, and I think the powers in here are cool, but like, overall, I'm just like, dude, like, Firestarter Firestarter was disappointing. That's why it's not the worst. It's disappointing. I still had a good time with it, and see how I'm battling some of these movies. Like Firestarter was great, but it's just like generic, boring. Not that boring, but the powers were cool. And I'm just like, dude, like I don't know. It just didn't feel like they tried with it. You know, it just felt like they're on level 1. All right, number 4, we got Moonfall in IMAX. That's right, in IMAX. So this is another disaster movie, and I felt like when I said in that review, the actors knew what kind of movie they were in. I mean, it's fun and crazy and dumb, but it's just like, it just felt weird because the third act changes how you look at the film. Like the third act, something happens. There's an alien. There's like a gooey substance when they go to the moon or something, or they literally go to the moon. The moon's coming to them. It's like, wow, like the effects were cool. Everything was cool, but it's like, it just didn't feel earned. Like the day after yesterday or the day after tomorrow, you know, one of those disaster movies like 2012. It just literally felt another like generic movie. All right, so we got number three guys, top 3. We got Triangle of Sadness Normal. The trailers made this out to look amazing, and I was so invested in this movie like the first 10 minutes, 20 minutes. This is the Balenciaga look. H&M, you know that guys with those naked guys that it's a trailer, they're like H&M, Balenciaga, and they're on the boat. However, I love the first 30 minutes. After when they get on the boat, I was like, okay, this is cool, but kind of like, oh my gosh, and they start throwing up and it's kind of goes crazy, and then goes literally changes direction. It goes to a hard right. They land on some sand. They have to survive there, and I'm like, this is so weird from the first like act of the film. Talking about fashion, good looking, money, the boat, okay, that's cool, and then they literally have to survive on an island, and it's like, and the island was just like inhabitable. It just felt like, it just, oh my god, the ending just, I hated it. It just changes the whole, it's just so dumb. I'm sorry to be like honest, but it's like, I love the fashion, the Balenciaga. I thought that was gonna be the rest of the movie. I was like, this is awesome. But the fact that they land up on that island and now they have to scramble to survive, like I get it. It might be real life, but like, dude, like why do it just was a weird journey that I just could not get on. I was like, no, I cannot do that. Number two, we got Devotion Normal. Now this came out during Thanksgiving season, and to be honest with you, even though it's World War II, I don't connect with old times. Like the video game Red Dead Redemption, I don't like World War I, I don't like World War II. I mean, if you really look at this, I'm more of a neon, futuristic, martini type of guy. Like I just don't like World War II, World War I don't like old school like that. Even though it deals with planes, and I couldn't handle the thought, oh, I'm connecting to Top Gun Maverick. Oh, it's just, I don't know. And when I was in the theater during Thanksgiving, it was literally dark, not the theater, the movie. 50% of the movie was dark. I couldn't even see what was going on. I'm like, what? Like, I mean, some of the storyline was cool. Like when they started drinking in French Italy, I was like, this is great. I mean, Jonathan Mayer's great in this movie, but it's like, you have Top Gun come out before this, and Top Gun is definitely the clear winner. But Devotion, to me, I don't like World War I don't like World War II, I don't like old school like that, I don't like old stuff like that, old cars, old planes. I'm just sorry. See, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just don't like old stuff like that. I'm more of a futuristic, cyberpunk, neon type of dude, and I just couldn't connect with it. And the fact that the movie was dark, I was like, bruh, I can't do that. All right, and number 1, guys, and I'm so sorry, it comes to Pearl Normal. Now, if you guys don't know, Pearl is like the prequel or sequel to X. I felt like X was definitely great because I had Jenna Ortega, which is beautiful, and Kid Cudi, but I felt like Pearl was a downgrade. Again, this movie centers around the farms, old school days, farming, grasses, and I just couldn't connect with the story. Like, yeah, it's more of a horror psychological thriller. And Pearl, I don't have nothing against the actress. I don't like her. I'm so sorry because I'm being weird and I'm being honest with you. I just don't like that movie. It's just, I felt like it was a downgrade. Like, there was not needed. Like, X was just barely fine. If they could have kept with that cast, maybe, but once you just take one person out, and to be honest, when I loved X, it was because of Jenna Ortega or the other girl from the Pitch Perfect. Pearl, to me, I just like, this is the most disappointing movie ever. And to be honest with you, I would even say Pearl is one of the worst movies ever because I just didn't like it. I couldn't connect with it. It was just old school, old farms, old way of doing things, and I get it. I can never underestimate what came before, but with this, and she just like kills her own parents and her own people, and not the fact she cheated on her husband. It's just like, bro, I just couldn't get it. And she kills everyone that she has sex with. It's like, why? I'm sorry, guys. As always, if you made it this far, I appreciate you so much. Maybe consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you never miss a video, and let me know what are your top 10 most disappointing movies of 2022. Take care.